So basically what we're doing negative and positive fractions. What we'll be doing, we'll be multiplying and dividing, and then we'll be adding and subtracting fractions with negative signs. Also, after that, we're going to go to order of operations, and we're going to mix them up, multiplying, dividing, adding, and subtracting at the same time. So stay tuned. There'll be a lot of questions here, taking care of all aspects of this chapter. So stay tuned. So here's a question now. Just because I have one negative sign in the whole question while multiplying, then the answer is going to be negative. So if you have an odd number of negatives when you're multiplying, then the answer should be negative. If we have an even number of negatives, the answer should be positive. My advice when you're multiplying and dividing fractions, first, when you're multiplying, you always try to reduce within the same fraction or diagonally. So here, diagonally, I could see 15 goes into itself once. It goes into 30 twice. Also, I could see 13 goes into itself once, and it goes into 39 3 times. And now, after that, you just multiply the top to the top, which gives you 2, and multiply the bottom to the bottom, and it gives you 3. Don't deal with the sign because we already figured out our answer is going to be negative. Okay, so we'll do the next question. So here's the question. I think the first thing here, we should figure out what the sign is going to be. So we have odd number of negatives. The answer is negative. Or negative times negative is positive. Positive times negative is negative. So either way, whatever way you're comfortable with. I always, when I'm multiplying or dividing, I just count how many negatives I have. If I have odd numbers of negatives, the answer is negative. If I have an even number of negatives, then the answer is positive. Now just ignore the signs. Don't look at the signs anymore. Look at how you're going to multiply these fractions. When you're multiplying fractions, always, if you can reduce. That's the first thing you see. You could reduce within or diagonally. So within, I could see right away that 12 and 15, 3 goes into 12 4 times, and goes into 15 5 times. Now 5 goes into this 25. 5 goes into itself once, goes into 25 5 times. Now this 5 here cancels this 5 because both of them go into itself once. Now 4 goes into itself once, and it goes into 36 9 times. Now the only thing I have is 9 from the bottom here and 6 right there. So 3 goes into 6 twice and goes into 9 3 times. And therefore 2 times 1 is just going to give me 2 on top, and then 1 times 1 times 3 gives me 3 on the bottom. So again, reducing, you reduce within the fraction if you can, and if you can't, anything that you could reduce diagonally, do it. It doesn't have to be between the first and the second. It could be diagonally from here to there. So if the 6 and the 36, or the 5 and the 25. So as long as it's diagonal, top reduces with bottom when you're multiplying and dividing fractions. So when you're dividing fractions, the first thing you want to do, keep the negative 13 over 4 the same, but you change your division to multiplication, and you flip the divisor. So you change this to negative 3 over 2. Now let's get rid of the signs. I know the answer here, because we have 2 negatives, is going to be positive. So the answer is positive. So you don't have to write a positive sign there. And now you start reducing. So can we reduce within? No, we can't. Can we reduce diagonally? This way I can, this way I can. So we can't reduce at all. So now when you can't reduce, then just multiply the tops together. So you get 39, and you multiply the bottoms together. 4 times 2 is 8. And that's your answer. If you want to change it to improper fraction, 39 divided by 8 is 4. And 8 underneath, 4 times 8 is 32. So you have a 7 as a remainder. So 4 and 7 eighths. And that's your answer for that one. Now, negative 3 is definitely over 1. We want to change division sign to multiplication. So 18 over 5 stays the same. Then you change this to multiplication. You flip this, so it becomes 1 over negative 3. And then also this division sign changes to multiplication. You flip, and this becomes 2 over 3. Now, definitely my answer is going to be negative. Ignore the signs now. You just have to reduce. Now, this 3 goes into itself once. It goes into 18 6 times. Also, 3 here goes into itself once. It goes into 6 twice. Can I reduce any further? No, I can't. 2 and 5 don't. And this way they don't. So 2 times 2 is 4. And then 5 times 1 is 5. And that's my final answer right there. Now we're adding fractions with negative signs. So I'm going to rewrite this. So it's going to be a negative 5 over 2. Plus and a minus. When you have a plus and a minus here, automatically it becomes just minus. So you get rid of the confusion of having two signs besides one another. And then you just rewrite this as 7 over 9. Now we do common denominator. The common denominator between 9 and 2 is 18. 18 divided by 2 is 9. 9 times negative 5 is negative 45. Minus that sign there. 18 divided by 9 is 2. 2 times 7 is 14. Which equals now negative 45 minus 14 is negative 59 over 18, and we just leave it as proper fraction like that. Cannot reduce this because no number goes into both of them to reduce them any further. So that's your final answer. Here we go. There's another one that we have, and it's negative 7 over 8 minus negative 1/4. So we rewrite this as negative 7 over 8. Again, every time you have two signs like this, minus and negative changes to a plus, and then it just becomes 1 over 4. Now this question looks a lot easier. So the common denominator between 8 and 4 is 8, because 4 goes into 8. So therefore 8 divided by 8 is 1, times negative 7 is negative 7, plus 8 divided by 4 is 2. 2 times 1 is 2. And therefore the answer here is going to be negative 5 over 8. So here we go. We have now a different question altogether. We have negative 7 over 6 minus 3 over 5 divided by negative 6 over 7. Now you have to go back to the BEDMAS. BEDMAS. So BEDMAS says brackets first, exponents second, division and multiplication. So here we have division here. So we have to do, basically what we have to do here, we have to take this right here and do that first. Okay. While we're doing that, we still carry the negative 7 over 6 with us, minus. So here we are dividing. So the first thing we need to do, change this into 3 over 5 times 7 over negative 6. Now we could reduce the 3 goes into itself once, it goes into 6 twice. And therefore now we have negative 7 over 6 minus, multiply the tops together, you get 7. And multiply the bottoms together, you get negative 10. Now we don't like the way this is looking, so we have to rewrite it as negative 7 over 6. Negative and negative, so minusing a negative always becomes plus. And that gives you 7 over 10. Now the common denominator here is, don't write 60 because that's not the least common denominator. The least common denominator here will be 30. How will we find that out? You go to the 10. Does 6 go into 10? No, it doesn't. What's the next multiple to 10 is 20. Does 6 go into 20? No, it doesn't evenly. So the next multiple to 10 after that is 30. Does 6 go into 30 evenly? Yes, it does. So this is your least common denominator. So now you go 30 divided by 6 is 5. Multiply the 5 to the negative 7, you get negative 35. And plus 10, 30 divided by 10, you get 3. 3 times 21 is 21. And then your answer, negative 35 plus 21 is negative 14 over 30. Now you reduce, 2 goes into 14 7 times, it goes into 30 15 times. So the answer is negative 7 over 15. So here we go. This is the last question I will do. Definitely have to do this brackets first, and then you do this brackets after. So to do this bracket right here, you have to change a few things. So this becomes 5/2 times 5/4 or -4 minus there's supposed to be brackets around here, so just to make sure. So you have to do the multiplication here, and since it's multiplication, you know this negative is going to cancel that negative, so they're going to become positive. 4 goes into itself once, goes into 8 twice. 3 goes into itself once, it goes into 9 3 times. So here we have 2/3. Now here, can we reduce? No, we can't. So here I'm going to get 25/8, and then minus the 2/3. One advice I give you, never leave the negative on the bottom of the fraction. So what I'll do, I'll just bring it on top. And I have 8 right there, and this becomes minus 2/3. Now let me bring to your attention something here. Negative A/B is the same as negative A/B, like this is the same as A/negative B, like this. Okay, so all of these are the same. This here, the last one right there, we don't like writing the negative on the bottom. So always, if you're in this kind of situation, try to stick the negative to the top, because it's the same thing, and that's what I did right here. So now, if we want to finish this, the common denominator here is going to be 24. 24 divided by 8 is 3. 3 times -25 is -75. Minus 24 divided by 3 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. Equals, so if we're adding, if it's -75 minus 16 will give you -91/24. And you cannot reduce this, so that's as far as you could go. And this is it for this section, negative fractions. It's very important for students to know how to work with fractions, multiplying, dividing, adding, subtracting, and then taking it an extra step where you're dealing with negative fractions. You don't know where the negative is going to be, on top or the bottom or on both. So there you go. That's how we work with negative fractions. It's very important. Fractions is a big thing in mathematics, so just get yourself familiar as a student from grade 9. These are the things you'll continue doing going forward. So make sure you're clear on how to move your negatives around, how to cancel the negatives, how to reduce fractions, how to add and subtract fractions that involve negative signs. Also, the order of operations is very important, that you're going to be doing that all the time. Again, thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. Also share with others so they could benefit. Bye for now.